Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Perfect. Okay, well, without any further ado, my name is Leah Grenier Kennedy, and I come to you here as one of the members of the board for Lang Talks, and we're going to do a brief orientation for our presenters here so that we can get a variety of videos up and running on the Lang Talks website. So we want to thank all of you for joining us today because it means a ton to have you here. And we just wanted to give you kind of an overview of the concept and where we're going with Lang Talks, and just walk you through the editorial process, the design, and then lastly the technology. So the reason that we've come up with this idea for Lang Talks is to answer the demands of the K to 16 world language educators. We know of so many people who really are looking for opportunities to be the best teachers that they can be, and they just don't have the access to professional development. And if they do, it is often just their state conference or small bits of professional development throughout the year. So the goal is for us to create videos that can be seen at their lunch. They're going to be short in nature. They're not the typical webinar. It's not going to be the very formal, but rather telling a story and something that the teachers could watch at their lunch and get a short 7 to 10 minute video that would give them an idea of how to improve their practice for tomorrow or for next year or just moving forward in their careers. So the most important thing is that we want to have all of our videos be research based. So we're starting with the core practices to get our videos going, but we're certainly not limited to the core practices. We'll be looking for other topics such as interculturality, global competence, different things about assessment that we would like to have teachers get these short mini lessons. The philosophy is that we want to unwrap just one aspect. And that's really hard for us a lot of times because we want to be able to teach them everything about a topic, about talking in the target language 90% of the time, or we want to really get into all aspects of providing feedback. But this is really just an opportunity for teachers to bite off one piece of feedback, for example. The look and feel is something that we're really trying to focus on because we don't want it to be the very formal webinar that most teachers, at least my teachers in this area, will often say that it's not as engaging or not as interesting. So we're hoping to get a feel of more of a conversation, more along the lines of a TED Talk, where people are really talking from the heart. And the thought is that all of these teachers would love to improve their practice. And so the mantra is that we're doing this because we all want to learn. So you'll see that throughout our website. The design is supposed to be very simple. It's taking one small idea, one small aspect of a standard, and you're going to explain it, show what it looks like, and then show me how to go forward. So it's three colors here, three different parts of the template as you go through the PowerPoint to personalize it for your lesson. And basically, that's the feeling that people could go forward and take some resources and be able to implement this with their students in the next class or in the next month. So with that basic kind of premise shared with you, I'd like to pass it on to Paul, who will talk to you about an exact example of what one of these videos would look like.
Thanks so much, Leah. And the idea of core practices is one that needs just a quick little explanation as well, and before you start thinking, well, what would I be doing as a Lang talker? And the idea is that these are practices at the core of beginning teachers' preparation. If we want to prepare a core of teachers, C-O-R-P-S, of teachers who are ready to be effective in a classroom, there are some core practices that they really need. And everyone else also who is not a beginning teacher, we need to remind ourselves of these practices to ensure that we stay true to that core and how it impacts our instruction and our assessment. And the danger in this is, of course, that we might set the expectation that there is a limited set of these professionally identified practices intended to train, the accomplished novice teacher, but that's all it's going to take. We know that this is a beginning point, so that's hence the idea of core practices derived from high leverage teaching practices and a lot of commonality across multiple disciplines, but it's not the idea of just a slogan. And that's one of the key things. So notice in some of the important changes to the way that these have been talked about, it's not just enough to say, just do 90% target language and all is going to be great. That is not research-based. But there is a lot of research around how to and the importance of facilitating target language comprehensibility. So that becomes the core practice that I need to build repertoire around as a beginning teacher, to review as a more veteran teacher, and to get deeper and deeper ingrained into my practice as a reflective practitioner. So that is the concept, and again, I think all of us agree as we look at these, they have an incredible amount of impact on how teachers look at that whole aspect of setting up their instruction and their assessment as an effective language educator. So how does this come into the idea of Lang Talks? In our next slide, you will see that the idea, what Leah had mentioned about explain, show, and go, it starts out, each Lang Talk will follow this easy template, and I just put in an example why this Lang Talk, which concept is being addressed. I chose the second one, design oral interpersonal communication tasks. So that's an important aspect that I need to explore, and we would then answer, well, why is this important to you? Why do you want to watch this Lang Talk? It's important because learners need support to negotiate meaning. Educators start to release that responsibility when pairs practice. They start to give it over to the students, so I need to build some repertoire in that area. And it's all about learners taking responsibility to maintain conversation. So in the next slide, we think about then, what would that look like? Well, designing oral interpersonal communication tasks, again, in the explain mode, it's really carrying out interpersonal tasks, both for pairs, for small groups, and even whole class instruction. So it would be a brief explanation of this understanding of this practice. And in the next slide, it builds up even into, well, what is required? And you will see 3 steps arising here of what is required as I dig deep into this practice, and then also what is it that the learners need to do. So I am focusing on the teacher building that support on what is the meaningful topic, how am I activating their background knowledge, how am I providing assistance, and I want to make sure that my learners then are moving along those steps by listening to one another, negotiating and interpreting meaning, and arriving at an understanding. So this is the explain of the practice. So this is much more than just saying, oh, put them in pairs and let them talk. There's a practice behind it. There are important lessons learned and research around what makes those tasks effective. So that's the explain. The next slide, it's all about show. So rather than an abstract concept, this is what the guidance is given in the template. What does it look like in action? And let's include some slides to show that piece. So again, building on mine, in the next slide you'll see an example of an oral interpersonal communication task. Could be numbered heads together. So you can quickly talk about some directions. This is how I have done it in my classroom. This is how I would set it up. And even to show, as on the next slide, an example of what could that be? What's going to be the prompt? So as we said, learners need support in order to have an effective interpersonal task. We want them to practice some of the language that they know, but in a more communicative, in a more learner-centered and learner-controlled way. So showing these 2 pictures, imagine their lives. How does water make our lives different? Now my novice learners are going to say some very simple things. I have water at home. In Mali, I walk for water. At home, I have a lot of water. In Mali, I have little water. I use little water. I use careful water. My more advanced students obviously could have a deeper discussion, but again, on the same kind of a prompt. So this is part of the show. What could a practice actually look like? And in the next slide, then we want to send everyone off with a go. So we've explained basically the concept, shown what it could look like in my classroom, and now go. How can you get started? What is it that you might do? So I have 2 examples. My advice would be start with how you are going to support effective conversations. The hardest thing is for two people just to be told, stand up and start chatting. About what? What's the prompt? What's drawing me in? Well, suddenly these illustrations draw me in, and I can talk about why I prefer certain things, because there's a lot that we can react to, my partner and I, together. And in the next example, again, my advice would be don't limit it to low-level conversations. Here are some provocative pictures about children around the world going to school. Why is going to school that important for these students, that they would go to all of this trouble to get there? So again, it takes it into a variety of different ways, and just a way to send off my listeners to the Lang Talk. What is something that I could do to get started right away Monday morning to put this into practice in my classroom? And then as the template ends up, it asks for a quick conclusion, some other resources, perhaps some other videos, links, whatever it might be, that would again send someone off with a good idea and support of how to implement it. We end with the credits, and that is the way that the Lang Talks are set up. Again, explain, show, go. Leah, back to you.
Thank you, Paul. I hope that was a good explanation, just to walk you through the steps. And thank you, Paul, because that really makes it clear and shows how you can be entertained at your lunch break and have a really good idea for your lesson for the next day. So I'm going to turn it over to Bill Nichols from Georgia State to talk about the peer review process.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. It's great to have everybody here. Some of you I know already. Herman, I just saw you a couple weeks ago. And some of you may be asking, well, how are these short videos different than anything that I could just Google on the web or look up on YouTube? And one of the key differences that differentiates Lang Talk from other videos is the fact that these will be peer-reviewed videos. So we've established an editorial process by which we vet not only the content but also the aesthetic. So there'll be uniformity, and there's also going to be a commonality in terms of message. So essentially we devised a very simple two-step process in which step one, presenters will submit a proposal and attach their PowerPoint, and that will be distributed to members of the editorial board we've also devised a rubric. So each person will be evaluating it, offering commentary, and once the proposal is approved, the presenter will get the go-ahead to then continue to step two. And step two would be to actually work with David and the culture team here at Georgia State to create the video and submit the video. And once again, members of the editorial board would then take a look at the video and ensure that the video adheres to the message of ACTFL, the standards of ACTFL, and the visual aesthetic that we're looking for the Lang Talks videos.
May I just jump in and
sure.
Here, it's not really the ACTFL standards we're talking about. I think it really is more, we're really talking about, does it adhere to the content guidelines and the quality guidelines which Lang Talks has prepared in an easy handout. There's no sense of ACTFL policing here.
Right. I mean, I was thinking more in terms of the core practices that the videos and the message that the video is presenting adheres to the essence of the core practices.
I would imagine it might be Jackie since she's
past
president.
I mean, I want to make sure that everybody understands this is a very simple process, and that the peer review process is, we streamlined it so that it's not a huge hassle for either the presenter or the editorial board, and we've given very clear guidelines and a very clear rubric that we'll prepare everybody with. That makes it clear, like, what the expectations are and what the steps to follow are.
Okay.
So then I can turn it over to David, and he will explain more about the tech side.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Bill. Hello, everyone. My name is David Cotter, and I'm the tech coordinator here at Culture. I will be walking you through the last but not the least portion of this Lang Talks orientation, the tech side of it. So for this section, I will discuss our exciting video platform, Kaltura, and I will highlight what it brings to Lang Talks, showcase the simple process of making your video, and a bit on what the finished product will look like. So as you can see here in slide 1, up until this point, you've seen that Lang Talks is a worthwhile project focused on helping teachers with bright ideas and essential practices. So to make these ideas and practices into video, though, we have chosen a tool called Kaltura to allow members to make their Lang Talks videos. To give you an overview in this slide, Kaltura is a video management platform that gives Lang Talks members the ability to upload and share video, audio, and other media files. So from this is going to help Lang Talks fill 4 immediate needs. It's going to help us accept media submissions from everyone who participates, and we can share our video on our website. We can easily upload and encode our video for a wide variety of devices. So Kaltura takes advantage of this by, allowing you to view your videos on your phone, on any browser, your TV, or any operating system. And 3, you can share your media with colleagues and others. So it's integrated with a lot of social media, a ton of other apps, so we can really get our videos out there. And then last, we can take advantage of the flexible platform and its tools. So you can record, annotate, share, rate, and then integrate with those other apps. So we really think this is a good option. And then in the next slide, it's a simple process. So one of the main reasons why we chose Kaltura is because it allows the process to be simplified and pushed behind the important lessons teachers can utilize in the classroom. Putting myself in the shoes of a teacher, I can understand that the thought of making a video can be a bit daunting and maybe even an impediment to actually joining Lang Talks. But with Kaltura, I think it really offers a solution that is truly user-friendly and can alleviate some of these fears. I mean, we vetted multiple video platforms, and we've gone through a lot of the hassles of what the other ones bring to the table. But with this one, I think it passed with flying colors. So as Bill mentioned, once you're approved from the Lang Talks editorial board, our team will provide you with your own account and the instructions to make a Lang Talks video with Kaltura. So once this is in order, you're looking at the download, record, and then you send it back to us. And one point I want to emphasize when you send it back to us is that we will do all of the post-production editing. So, if you cough in it or you think the lighting looks bad, we'll fix that and we'll take advantage of that for you. So in the next slide, so I've broken it up into 2 different forms. So the first form is the 5 steps of downloading Kaltura. It's really straightforward. And then after downloading Kaltura, in the next slide, we have 5 steps for you to record your video. So with the 2 different sheets together, it's only 10 steps to go from nothing to a finished product. And then after that, you send it back to us. But again, the point that I want to emphasize is that this project comes with a ton of help. I will be available for one-on-one sessions, and since Kaltura is used by 300,000 websites, I believe, there's a ton of help out there. And then even Kaltura itself has some really, really great video tutorials on how to do anything with it. So here in slide 4, I don't know, John, if you can see the video, but or the image, but I Google searched you, and the very first image on Google, by the way, is you taking a selfie. So I thought that'd be perfect for this presentation. So here in the big image, the recording interface will look like this. You'll have your PowerPoint, and then your face will be in the corner, and you'll have the ability to pause, stop, or resume your recording at any point. And then on the side here, it comes with some of the points that I really like about Kaltura, is that anyone who's viewing these videos, you can switch it so you're focusing on the presenter, and then the contents in the bottom, you can put them up next to each other, or if you just want the content, you can do that too. And then you can download this so you just have the audio or the video with it. So in sum, Kaltura is our Lang Talks video platform of choice, and with some simple steps, anyone can make an amazing Lang Talk, and I'm really excited for you guys to join.
Thank you, David. We're going to take some questions here, but hopefully the one thing that you're getting from this is that once you have your idea, it is very easy to be able to put together the PowerPoint and then be able to record the video. So here's our here's our big goal, to see if we could possibly get some proposals and PowerPoints by around June 15th. And then thinking that maybe we could chunk this for everybody. If we could get some proposals and PowerPoints by mid-June, then we could set up round 2 of our orientation, which would be basically just helping you to get over that hump of actually recording with the Kaltura. As David was just saying, he is more than willing to help us on a one-to-one basis, but it might be helpful just to do a second round somewhere in the end of June. We'll record that as well and be able to get you over that next step. So it's really a 2-part process of writing the actual lesson that you'd like to share with the teachers and then recording it. So that's hopefully what came through with our presentation here. So without any further ado, I'd like to open it up to all of you and ask for comments, questions, concerns, or any of your thoughts.
Hi, it's Jen. I'm going to jump in. I have a question. It has to be a PowerPoint then. It can't be a Prezi or anything.
Well, we have the template saved as a PowerPoint and also as a Keynote. So if you prefer one platform over the other, but the thought was that when you go to our LangTalk site, we're hoping to have it look uniform so that as you go in and out of the LangTalk videos, they're all going to start off with this introduction. This will be the introduction that will be added post-production. Just going to let you see this quickly. And then David will add this after the fact. So that will be the intro bumper and ending for all of them. And then the hope was that under the presenter media kit, you'll be able to download this is just languages. And you will see that here is the presenter checklist and here is the PowerPoint template. And we can also put that up there in Keynote. So this is where you get it. So
thanks a lot.
Just that it has some sort of sense of uniformity to all of these. And so this would be okay. So does that answer, Jen?
Absolutely. It sounds great, Leah.
Oh, great. So this is I will be emailing this template to you as well so that you have it. And you'll be able to see that you can go in and personalize this pretty easily for yourself. So I'll just flip through this while we're taking other questions.
Hey, Leah, it's Mimi. Like Jennifer, I think this is a spectacular idea, and I congratulate all of you for making it a reality. So I'm anxious to do what I can to help, but I have a question about copyright materials, including images downloaded from Google that might find their way into PowerPoint.
That's an excellent question. Go ahead, David. Go ahead, Bill.
Well, that's exactly why we want to have this peer review editorial process. One of the things that we'll be looking at is to verify that these are either stock photos or that the images are not copyright protected or that they have obtained the copyright. So that would be part of the editorial process.
Okay. All right, that helps. So we don't have to take care of that. We send you what we've got, and you'll figure out what to do about the stuff that whatever images are not acceptable.
Right. So we would, I mean, part of the instructions will be that the presenter needs to take care that these images are not copyright protected. We'll do our best to look and make sure that they are not. That we'll vet that, but we won't be obtaining copyright permissions for people. To be clear. But it is something we'll try and kind of be vigilant about, that the images are stock images or the images are not under copyright protection.
How do you find that out on Google? Yeah, I understand some of them do have notifications right on the image, but what about for the ones that don't?
Odds are on Google, the majority of the images are copyright protected. There are specific.
They are.
Sure, there are specific kind of media commons sites, or if you, for example, well, unless you Google stock images, then that might direct you to sites where you could find some images that are not copyright protected. And we could give you some websites where you could find images. And David, I'm sure, has suggestions.
And then another option with the images too is that Google has a reverse image search. So you can search by any image. So when you guys send the presentation back to us, we will go through the process of going by image and reverse searching it, seeing where it ends up, and then whether it actually needs to be, copyrighted or noted at the end.
And
Okay.
just so you know, I think we will add some additional notes for people to be mindful of that. We did, as we were building the template, make sure that we left space. You'll see on the slides here, there's a person's head here with a bow tie, just to remind us to save a little space. And we have encouraged people to in the credits, use credits for all the text and for the students, because sometimes we need to look at images of the students as well to make sure that they also have permission to be used in this capacity. So that will be in the presenter notes to be reminded as well. So, and Ruda was also asking a question. Did you want to jump in here, Ruda? Well, I'll just she's asking if series are encouraged or discouraged. I think what we're hoping to get, well, right now we'd just like to get some sample videos from the superstars, get it out there, get some real experts in the field to be able to give us some mini lessons that are research-based. That's our real goal. So whatever the research may be, is what we're going to be looking for. So it's not just ACTFL. I'm happy that Paul brought that up. It's standards-based and it's the core practices, but it's we could certainly hope to get series that would deal with interculturality, or a whole series of videos that would deal with target language use and making the target language accessible to the students. For right now, we're trying to get some samples of all, but hopefully we will get to the point where we can have series for sure.
And you said these are 5 minutes each? Did I hear that?
We're hoping to go about 7 to 10 minutes, because when you're looking at, if you look at the actual breakdown of a Lang talk, we're thinking if you have about 30 seconds to say who you are and 30 seconds for a conclusion, you probably need about 2 minutes to explain your concept. So that's why I keep saying it's really, it's not a whole standard. It's not a whole core practice. It's kind of a nutshell that we're breaking open, saying this is one little thing that we can offer you to improve your interpersonal communication class tomorrow. So 2 minutes to explain, 2 minutes to show, and then 2 minutes. If you gave me 2 minutes more to tell me what can I do tonight to get ready for tomorrow's lesson, what would it be that you tell me to go do? So that's why we're saying it's probably realistically about 7 to 10 once you really get those 3 chunks in there.
So if I can add on to that just really quickly, once we have a kind of core of videos established and we're archiving them, they'll be searchable. So people would say, you know what, tomorrow I'm presenting on X, Y, or Z. Let me see if there's a Lang Talk video on this. And they could just go and search for it. And you would have these folders and these repositories where people could find a collection of videos about corrective feedback, or they could find a collection of videos about advocacy or assessment or intercultural communication or what have you. So the idea, the scalability of this is pretty fantastic, and the searchability is as well. So
the other thought that we're looking at is how to use these Lang Talk videos for PLCs, how to empower the teachers to say, I'm in a small district. We've got 8 language teachers at the high school, and we've got another whopping 4 at the middle school. So how does a small district like mine come together and have access to MimiMeds? How do I have access to the most current thoughts on what's going on in Virginia with this Virginia Foreign Language Supervisors Association? That would be tough for me if I'm in the middle of Colorado in a smaller district. So the thought is, how could we group these Lang Talk videos together and be able to have meaningful conversations? The hope in the future is to have resources that will be ancillary materials that will go along with it, which would be really helpful for those PLCs.
I was just going to add, Leah, if I may, Also, I don't know if it's been mentioned, but these are seen as a free resource to be freely available and freely given. And it really is a collaborative development and a shared ownership trying to educate all of us. I love the logo there because we all want to learn, and we want to learn with and through each other. Though they will be linkable in a variety of ways. For example, if they are related to core practices, there will be a way to access them through some of our ACTFL resources on core practices. There will be other ways that these can be linked through the LangTalk site as well, and it's a networking opportunity.
One of the other things that I think would be really helpful is as we move forward in spreading the word about this project, we'll be heading into fall state conference season and then obviously into ACTFL, and to be able to tap some of those presenters that we see and say, wow, that is a lesson that I wish I could take home to the non-5,000 people at ACTFL and share that. So those are the people that we love to be able to tap after we have some models out there to be able to say, hey, this would be a great way to get people to understand how to get authentic resources for interpersonal interpretive mode rather. So I think that moving forward with some of the people who are on this call, I think it would be great if you keep thinking of others who would be helpful with that. Do we have other
Leah,
questions?
this is Lisa. Not a question, but if I could just jump in and add on to what you were saying. And I think Paul started the explanation really well, that a big part of the importance of this is the grassroots methodology that's being used to develop the videos. This is by educators for educators. And if you're wondering why you were chosen to be part of this, it's because everyone on the editorial board felt that you had an important message to share that would resonate because you either had an expertise in one of these areas or you had a knowledge base to bring out that would be important, that would help launch this grassroots efforts and that others could build off of.
Thank you, and Lisa, you have brought some wonderful folks to us from Virginia, and we really appreciate that. So if you can continue to spread the word, that would be wonderful. Heidi, did you want to jump in?
Sure. So I am in a small district, which Lisa knows about. And I'm just thinking this is like going to totally change things for those of us in small districts. I'm basically the only French teacher in my district, but I've kind of gone out on my own and pretty much I've got myself known throughout the state with my partnership I've established. So I'm really excited to bring that forward to the table with you guys. So can't wait. I already have ideas for my presentation. So looking forward to sharing it with y'all.
Wonderful. That's great. Thank you. And Catherine, did you want to jump in? You shared some links here. Okay, I think she's muted. So, Catherine, are you there? Okay, so without any further ado, we'd like to wrap up this session here. So I'm just going to ask if, sorry about that, if all of you would be willing to go to the LangTalk site and come up to the top of the website where it says Take Action. It is on that site where you can truly make a difference by submitting your form here. It's basically your name and your email, and also your presentation title and presentation abstract. In order to submit it, this part right here is where you will go ahead and submit your template that you've already personalized from us, and I will go ahead and send that template to all of you right now so you have that. And in order to get into the site, the password is indeed languages. So if you're going into the presenters here and looking for the media kit, everything is right here. And in order to get that template, you just type in the password languages, and I had already done that, which is why it just opened up for you. So if there's no further questions, I would beg of you to consider taking action and considering submitting a proposal to us by June 15th, and then we will send you the link to the Kaltura the template and also a date for later in June where we'll do a round 2 of orientation to make sure that we can help you do the actual recording.
And then to add to what Leah was just saying, we're going to send out affiliate accounts to everyone who participated in this meeting today. So be on the lookout for that.
Wonderful. All right, well, I want to just thank you all. I know it is the end of the school year, and here it is after 3:30. So thank you very much for your time, and feel free to send any emails with questions or concerns. We're thrilled to have you on board.